What is up, Scootaheads? Hey, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic summer. Thank you for continuing to watch the channel. Thank you for supporting the Garage Time series that I put out. We are coming up on the 1 year mark for the channel, so I definitely appreciate you all. My day ones all the way up to subscriber 328 as of the recording of this video. Now, guys and ladies, I've tried to record this a couple times. I have one that's already loaded onto the YouTube server, but I didn't like it. It was a little, there are a lot of echoes as far as the audio, so I pulled that one back. I didn't want to put that out for the Garage Time. But this week, or this Garage Time episode, we're gonna focus on a couple things. So I've had a few questions that come up as far as taking the MSF course. Has two-wheeling taken over? We're gonna get to all the questions, but we also have a bunch of questions from my buddy Julio, who graciously came up with a whole lot of questions to ask during the Garage Time, and they're great questions. So I definitely appreciate that, Julio. Shout out to you, sir, and always being a great participant in the channel. So I definitely appreciate you for that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with the regular question. Actually, before we start in that, I want to go into the little bit of news. So we're all here because of, initially, this was a scooter channel. That's why my name is Scootahead on the channel. And I'll tell you, I've thought about changing the name of the channel because I'm not riding a scooter right now. And I don't know, what do you guys think about it? Do you think I should keep the name Scootahead, or should we change it to something else? I had some thoughts as far as different channels, and I gotta check to see if any of them are already used, but I don't know. I kind of go back and forth whether or not I want to change the name of the channel. But the big news that I want to talk about is the 2023 Honda ADV 160. Okay, so the big news is the Honda ADV 160 is coming out, and it's going to be probably in the US for 2023. Shout out to Honda Pro Kevin. He always has a great Honda news for all Honda products. So shout out to you. And I am getting the information from his website. It's hondaprokevin.com. Check it out if you're interested in Hondas or just motorcycle news. He's got a great channel, so shout out there. And so basically a few different things. I went to the website. I believe it was released in Indonesia initially, so I couldn't get to the website where it showed all the specs. Normally I like to show that, but so it's the ADV 160. We've got a bump to the, it's gonna go be 160cc 4-valve engine. We've got some upgrades, such as some changes to the screen. It looks like there's a little bump in horsepower, better fuel economy, and taller windshield. And I believe there's a change to the storage on the 160 versus the 150. I've noticed that Honda's been, even with the CBR, right? The 2022 CBR 500 has some nice upgrades. It looks like the 160 has some slight changes aesthetically as well. So I think it's a great a bump as far as going from the 150 to 160. So I definitely think that that's a positive that they're making changes to the bike, and hopefully it means it's going to stick around. So that's awesome, which I haven't heard anything otherwise. So, but anytime you start seeing companies, making incremental changes to something that's successful, then that's a good sign of the longevity. So next, we'll go over some of the questions that I've been asked on the channel, and also we're going to get into Julio's questions. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but he's asked a number of questions, great questions. I think that are very interesting, so we're going to touch on those right now. But I'm going to start with the other questions I've been getting. So the first question, everybody knows that I'm a car person, so I've got my Firebird, and I just love cars. And I gotta be honest with you, I am in a situation where motorcycle two-wheeling has kind of taken over. I still love cars. Matter of fact, I got my Firebird out and ran it a little bit. So that was good. I'm still interested in cars and everything like that, but definitely motorcycles have taken over. And I did attempt to pre-order a 2022 Camaro LT1. The order got stopped because it was a 2022, so they stopped the orders for those, and you got to order a 23 now. So I don't know if I'm still gonna even do it. I did want to get a new Camaro because I don't know how long those are gonna be around. It is what it is. So, yes, two-wheeling has taken over for me. How was the MSF course? So I did take the motorcycle safety course. Gotta light this back up. I did take the motorcycle safety course, and it was very helpful as far as like slow speed maneuvers and just reinforcing some of the stuff that we learned out there on the road and things like that. So I did take the motorcycle safety course and I enjoyed it. 2 days where you're basically out there with other people that like motorcycles, talking motorcycles and learning together. I do think it is beneficial. What I want to do is, every year make sure I'm doing continuous training just so I can be the best rider that I can be. I want to make sure that I'm in the situation where I'm as safe as possible. And as I continue this journey, I want to make sure I'm developing my skills. So definitely, I would recommend the MSF course. The other benefit to it is that you get a reduction on the insurance. So that was a big part of the reason I did it, because I wanted the reduction. There is an upfront cost, but once you take it, depending on your insurance, it does, substantially reduce the rate as far as the MSF course. So, not the MSF course, your insurance. So, definitely recommend checking that out. And, if you're interested. The one other thing I will say is that one great thing about the Honda ADV, I've ridden years before and things like that, but not really to a place where I was like, oh, I'm comfortable out on the road, things like that. The one thing with the Honda ADV 150 is that it did give a framework and a great way to learn and get comfortable on the road without having to think about shifting gears and all that stuff. Shifting for me came second nature because I love manual transmissions in cars. So it's very similar. If you have that concept down, you are pretty much there to be able to ride a motorcycle. But I love the fact that on my Honda ADV, I was able to get comfortable on the road. And then I got my motorcycle where, all right, now I'm shifting gears, everything like that, after I was already, more comfortable riding in traffic and things like that. So, so that is a great, I do think that we all get to motorcycles however we get to them. Some people ride dirt bikes forever. And then they go into motorcycles or riding on the street. But I think if you are on the fence as far as getting into like your new rider and get into a manual transmission motorcycle intimidates you, or you're like, I do think that starting off on a scooter is a great idea. You can get the 50cc, 150cc, and so on. And it's transfer, especially with gas prices right now. It's a great way to either decide if you're going to ride or continue that journey in scooters. So that's one of my favorite things about the Honda ADV. It was such a nice bike that I was able to get started on, getting comfortable, had some creature comforts and everything like that. So I really enjoyed that about that bike. And so definitely recommend the MSF course. And if you are in a situation where you're on the fence about getting in the two-wheel life, start on a scooter. Get comfortable on the road. And then if you decide down the line, transition it into, you know, another bike, a motorcycle, you know, something with that you have to switch gears. However you get it, just get out there on those two wheels. So, so the question was, what gear do I wear? A couple weeks ago, I did release a video where I touched on this a little bit. So I always have my Alpine Star gloves, love those. I've got this Hjc helmet. I am looking at getting a new helmet because even that one now is starting to give me a little bit of a pressure point on my forehead. It's not as bad. I've ridden with this one for hours, but after a while, it starts to get a little bit annoying. So I think this helmet is about, it was about $120. It's a CS, I forgot the CS something. And it was an inexpensive helmet, DOT approved. I've got a Snell approved helmet over there. I don't wear that thing at all because that, for some reason, it like really hurts my head when I wear it. So I do want to get a more comfortable helmet. I've got the, and this is what I put on the video, the Bionic Alpine Star armor jacket. I love that. It breathes great, especially in the summertime. And then I've got a Icon riding jacket as well. I've shifted from that one a little bit. I might go back to it. I like that one too, but with these hotter months, I do like to have the Bionic. It's CE rated, and if you want to get more information on that one, just check out the other video. So that's the gear that I wear, and I've got Alpine Star shoes as well, sneakers. Those are a little, I think they're over the top. They look too racy. I want to start being in a situation where I can go into like the store and people do not know that I'm on a motorcycle. And that Bionic doesn't help with that. The Icon jacket doesn't help with that, and neither does the what is it? Mosquito, and neither does the those Alpine Star shoes. So I think my gear is going to continue to evolve. Eventually, I would like to get into something where it looks like street clothes, and I know they're coming a long way as far as like the armor and things like that. You've got the Kevlar, you've got the you know, the armor that you can barely even tell is armor, but it's actually just as strong as the thick stuff. So that's something I'm looking to get into as well down the line. So those were the three questions that that came up. I think that was it. Let's see here. Okay, so now we'll get into Julio's questions. And he gave me these questions a few months ago, and I'm glad I've taken time to kind of think about it. I have changed some of my answers, I think, since I recorded this last. So, the first question is, do you have more fans or interest based on the new bike or the ADV 150? And it's hard to tell right now. I do still get a ton of questions great questions on the ADV 150. And then now I'm starting to see more questions about the CBR 500. So I know a lot of people are shopping for both bikes. So I'm starting to get a little bit more. A couple months ago, maybe about 2 months ago, when Julio sent me this, I probably would have said the ADV was still rocking a little bit more as far as the questions. But I've had a couple of videos that have kind of ticked up a little bit that I recorded earlier in the year. To be quite honest, the channel right now we're at 328 subscribers, and the growth is a little slower than it had been in the past. And I think that could be due to a couple reasons. One was that the bike switched, so there may be more interest in the ADV 150 or one bike or the other. The second thing is I noticed that it kind of shifted when I took a pretty long break between March and April of this year, and the views I noticed after that kind of, and I think that I upset the algorithm, which, you know, it is what it is, man. It was it was a ton of snow outside. I didn't feel like doing any motor vlogs. I had been in a situation where I was trying to stretch the content and things like that, but you want fresh content. You want to be able to have fresh information and things like that. So I did take a break while we were digging out of the snow, earlier this year. So I do think that that had a little bit of impact as far as the growth of the channel. And that's part of the game, you know what I mean? So it is what it is there. And so who says, I feel more inputs came from the ADV, maybe because there's not a lot of many channels on it. Now, I do know that there have been some growth as far as the ADV 150, the channels out there. One channel that I loved watching before I purchased my Honda ADV 150 was Trekopolis. That's my dude. He has some, like, I love his channel. He's got merch now. I'm plugging the merch. He's got merch on his with his channel. So guys, check him out. It's Trekopolis. I'm gonna try to put it up in the tag somewhere, or at least be linked in the comment section. I'm sure you guys, if you're interested in the ADV, I'm sure you've already seen his channel. You probably subscribed there. So, but shout out to him. And okay, so the next question: how do you like this bike compared to the ADV 150? I really enjoy my CBR 500. I did enjoy the Honda ADV 150 as well. If I could be completely transparent, I went with that bike because I did have some, coming in from someone that had never like really thought about purchasing two wheels, other than the ones that you pedal, is that I had the mindset that it would be safer on a scooter to get started. And I quickly realized that that's not the case. I mean, speed-wise, that is probably a factor. People can argue either way, where you need more speed to get out of traffic, out of the traffic, and then the other side of it is that, hey, you're not going to be going 150 miles per hour, 120 miles per hour, and likelihood of you falling off the bike at those speeds is going to be a lot less on a scooter. But I don't go those speeds either way. So I do know that I personally believe that the danger is the same or very similar. I'm not going to say exactly the same, but I would say that it is very similar because you're on a vehicle that you're not protected. So, and everything around you, as far as these other vehicles, will run you over. And, so I think that was part of my mindset when I went into the ADV 150. There are definitely some things that I do wish that or I miss about the ADV 150 would be, one is just the storage, for example. Hopping on there, or if I go to the store and want to get some water or put a couple waters in the back, I got to carry a backpack to do that on this bike versus just putting it in the storage compartment on the ADV 150. I missed the keyless entry. That was awesome. That was nice to have, the proximity key. And it's just a cool scooter. I think if I lived in an area that didn't have the speeds that I have out here, I think I may have held on to it a little longer. So how does it compare? They're not, I wouldn't say that they really compare at all, really, because they're just totally two different bikes as far as how I like them. It's like comparing apples and oranges in a way, because they're just two different types of bikes. But if I had to choose it again, I would pick my CBR. And just because I really enjoy shifting through the gears and just that whole experience, the rush that you get when you crack the throttle. And I love the gearing. I love switching through gears. That's like one of my favorite things. So just like if I had a vehicle, a car like a Camaro, for example, my preference would be a manual transmission. So if the ADV was as fast as this one would have kept it, I probably wouldn't have been looking as quickly. And I'm not a speed demon, if you notice from my videos. I stay within the speed limits for the most part. But I don't have to move over to the side on those 55 mile per hour roads. I don't know. I think that it would always come back to riding a manual transmission bike. And as I've noticed, and I'll touch on this a little bit more after we go through the questions, but I think once you get bitten by a little bit more speed, it becomes addictive. And I never forget that video we did with my Uncle Dave, and I got on this Vespa, and the sensation of speed, even going from a 150 to 300, that's a big jump. I was blown away by that difference there. And that, I think, was the problem with me going into, I just want to make sure the audio is still in good shape. Okay, I hope I didn't mess up the audio. But that was a difference between, you know, that was something I was like, oh, wow. And after that time, that's when the light went off. I was like, I want something faster. I want something with a little bit more speed on it. If the ADV was as fast, would I've kept it? So I'm gonna say no to that because I do like shifting gears. If I could have, and I think this will be the next question. Okay, well, maybe it's not. But I think the one thing I would have done is probably kept both of them instead of instead of trading it in. I would probably kept both of them. I ride this probably twice a week. I just would want to make sure that I would have a use case for having two bikes. I do want to get two bikes at some point. And I think that we've got the festivals picking up and stuff like that. I think the ADV 150 would have been great to have, you know, to ride down to the festival and things like that. I think that's where that bike has a sweet spot. You know what I mean? I know for me personally, it would have been a ball riding that thing through there. I throw my wife on the back. She's never gonna ride on the back of my bike. She just refuses to. So, but it would have been fun to have that. And that's, for me, that would be another reason why I would possibly get another scooter, is because of those types of events and things like that, where I just want to just chill out and go. So that might be something that I might think about. I don't know if it'd be an ADV 150. It'd probably be something like for cost, definitely like the Navi.
No, that's the Navi. The new Navi. That's the new Navi. Navi or Navi.
At that price point, if you can get, especially if you can get one that's slightly used, I throw that thing, have it, and then when it's time to roll out, pop on that thing and have a ball. So if I do get another scooter, it would be something like that. Let's see here. Okay, so what is the top speed that I've done on the new bike? Guys, New York State does not play when it comes to speeding. I know some people downstate, I see them, other channels that are like doing crazy numbers. I'm old, I'm risk averse, I'm in insurance. I do not want them tearing up my insurance. Hoco don't play, so I'm good. So the fastest I've done is I've done about 79 on the bike. I know. I'm not doing 3 digits or anything like that. Part of it is that, I'll be honest with you and transparent. Part of it is I'm scared. I ain't there yet. So I'm gonna be a man and say, hey, I don't want to go that fast right now. But yeah, 79, and it feels comfortable. But I just don't have that need for speed. I love the acceleration, but like climbing up to 120 miles per hour, I don't know. It's just not something that I'm ready to do right now. And if I do at some point, I want to be in a very controlled environment. Okay, I'm scared. Let's see here. If you go, here's that question. If you go back, would you have kept both bikes for different riding experiences or occasions? Possibly. I definitely think that it would have been good to have a scooter in the garage, especially for like those events that are like, you just want to cruise, man, to like the beach, or cruise to like a festival. And especially if you're two up, I would say a scooter would be great. Too bad my wife doesn't want to ever ride any two-wheel with me at all. So it is what I can't do nothing about that. But it would be nice to have a second bike, a scooter in the garage, so that for those just chill out days, I'm just gonna ride down the street or go to one of these festivals or something like that, that's what for me, that would be perfect. So what is my uncle's opinion about the new bike? And did he test ride it? No, he has not test ridden this yet. So he is not really into the shifting gears like I am. As a matter of fact, when we go to bike shops and things like that, he's looking for DCT stuff. But I think after we went to the this is a perfect segue. After we went to the Kawasaki event, I think he's opening up to possibly going into a situation where he might want to learn how to ride a manual transmission bike. So, and speaking of that, so those were the questions. I think I got them all. And again, shout out to Julio for those great questions. Definitely appreciate that. And guys, please, for the next garage time, let me know what you want to talk about. Any questions or anything like that, please let me know. Also, I want to talk about that demo event. Man, that was something serious. I really enjoyed myself. That was the most fun I've had, as an adult for free in a long time, at an event, for example. So I rode the Ninja 400, the Ninja 650, the Z650, there's another 650, I forgot the name of it, and then I rode the Z900. Let's talk about the Ninja 400 first. So for the Ninja 400, sorry, somebody, can you go out the front? Thanks. So I rode the Ninja 400, the Z650, the Ninja 650, the Z900, and I rode another 650 variant. I forgot the name of it. I'll probably pop it up if I remember. Let's start with the Ninja 400. I did a review of my CBR 650. I did a review of my Honda 500, and I talked about the fact that, there are race companies out there that are designing gear for that bike or mods for the bike, for the Ninja, that you're just not getting on this bike. Their packages and things like that. I do think that the Ninja is designed more for, every time I talk to someone, especially at the bike event, I would just take it as a track bike. I would just, change, do this, that, and put it on as a track bike. That's absolutely something that you could do with that bike. That bike is significantly lighter than, this bike. It's about 50 pounds lighter. When I got on it, I'm kind of hefty. So I got on it and I rode just fine. It felt a little light to me, or like a toy. And that this bike doesn't feel like that. So I'm glad that I rode that bike, because I wanted to be able to speak from experience of riding the bike. I love the fact that it revs up high. It is very nimble. Like, the thing is, it's very light compared to this bike. But this is more my type of bike, I think. Something that's feels substantial. Like when I go on an expressway, I don't feel like the bike is, unless I get a crazy gust of wind, that bike is very planted. I do think that the Ninja is a lot lighter bike, and it's not, I don't think it's for me. I think it's for somebody that may be younger or weigh a little bit less, that's starting off. Out of the two, I'm glad I made the choice for my CBR 500. So yes. So the 650s, those were also very interesting bikes. The Z650 I preferred more than the Ninja 650, and I think it might have just been those bikes. The 650 that I rode, the Z650 was super smooth. it didn't have any rattles or anything like that. And I noticed the Ninja did have some rattles. It just didn't feel as polished as the Z650. And I think that was, instead of the whole line, I think that was just more in line with the actual specific bike that we rode. Because because these bikes have 2,000-3,000 miles on them. You know, depending on who's cranking on them and things like that. We had some that had some plastic pieces falling off. Like my buddy Brandon was on a bike and some of the plastic was falling off. I noticed when we were riding. So, you know, these aren't fresh bikes. Some of them might have a little bit more miles on them than the other. I don't know how long they commission them or anything like that. But in that case, I did enjoy riding the Z650 a little bit more than the Ninja 650. I do think that those are great bikes, and if you're cross shopping the CBR 500 with, especially that Z650, because it's less than the Ninja, you're getting more power. It would be a hard choice if you don't care about fairings or naked versus sport bike with the fairings. That would be a hard choice. The Ninja 650 I found is that it's a little bit more. I think that would be more of a close call. Honda knew exactly what they were doing when they strategically placed this bike between the Ninja 4. I don't know if they did this specifically for the Ninja, and but that bike is placed very strategically. It's between the Ninja 400 and the Ninja 650. I'm sure they have other comparables that they looked at, but if you're shopping those three bikes, it's a very tough call whether, what bike you're gonna go for. I think with the Ninja, if you're turning something around really quick, maybe a year or so, that might be the better value. If you're gonna have it for a couple years and you like how substantial this bike feels, the CBR 500, then that's when you go into that tweener, this bike. And if you just want something, I think if you have a Ninja 650, that's one that you could probably hold on to for quite a while, because it's very versatile. You got the tech. That bike, I can see if I had to purchase that bike or the Ninja over that bike, I can see having that one a little bit longer. Now, let's talk about that Z900. That Z900, I'm drinking to the Z900. Never while I'm riding though. The Z900 was a different level. Like that bike, it's hard to explain what that bike, how that bike felt. It was very substantial, but that 4-cylinder engine was like, oh my God, it was so smooth. And you crank that throttle, you get I think it's got about 73 pound-feet of torque and 125 horsepower. I could not stop smiling after I rode that bike. I couldn't stop talking about it. It was amazing. And was it amazing for me to want to buy another, trade my CBR 500 in on that? I'm gonna be honest with you. If they made a Ninja version of that bike or some type of sport bike version of the Z900, I think I would have been like, oh my gosh, I gotta have it. I love the sport bike look. That's something that I don't know if I ever want to get a bike that does. I mean, I wouldn't mind having, I always want to have a sport bike, but also have other bikes as well. But so I wouldn't say 100% that I would have traded that. If they had one in stock, I would have been like, oh man. But I don't know if I would have swapped them out. When I got back on this bike, I was just like, I'm glad I rode the Ninja last because I was able to transition back to this bike a lot better than I did if I would have came off that Z900 back to the CBR. But I'm not in a rush to get anything else yet. I'm gonna hold on to this bike at least 2 years. I would say about 2 years or so. and then I'm gonna assess and figure out what the next bike is. So I'm keeping my CBR. I love the bike, and I'm glad I purchased that bike. Plus, I want to see how much that insurance on a 4-cylinder Z900. I haven't checked it or anything like that yet, but so I don't want to hold you guys too long. I know it's already been probably longer than you want to sit and watch, but I want to thank you guys again for continuing to support the channel. We've coming up on a year, so thank you for that. And yeah, man, I'm just having a ball this motorcycle season. I am planning on going to another demo event. There's one for Yamaha, and then I want to try to get on, there's one for BMW later in July. If I can go to that one, I gotta see if I can finagle it to be away from home that long. I gotta go to Pennsylvania for that one. But I want to ride that S1000 or any of them. I'd be okay with any BMW because that's my ultimate dream bike, the S1000 double R. So if I can try to make that happen, I think I will. And then the Yamaha. Some of the bike events don't allow you to film while you're riding, so I think Yamaha's like that. So we'll see. I'll probably try to finagle something. But yeah, I want to thank you guys again for always supporting the channel. Continue to like, share, subscribe. If it's the first time at the channel. We just try to have a lot of fun over here. And I definitely want to make sure, this is really important, guys. Just be safe out there, okay? I've had some losses around my area, man, and I want to just wish you guys to be safe. You know, if your gears, keep your gear on. If your gear, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but like, just be safe out there and stay cool. Be blessed. Be nice to each other. I'll check you on the next one, guys. Oh, last thing, and I'm probably gonna put this in the beginning of the video. Any other motovloggers want to do a garage time? Let me know. Let's do some collaboration. All right. Again, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. Wish you all the best. I'll check you on the next one. Peace.